my name is Shauna Lay, and I'm going to be taking you through a yoga sequence today. And I'm going to be teaching you how to use your breath in each of the poses to deepen your practice. The thing that I love about working with the breath is that I feel like it brings a peace to the inner self and a very calming presence when you're done with your practice. So because the breath is always in the present moment, as you work with the poses, you'll find that the mind gets deep into the body by using the breath, through the breath. And so you become very present in your practice and you're able to deepen within your practice, and then it brings you a sense of peace and calm, a sense of calming. So let's get started. Exhale, close the eyes. Sit up nice and tall. You're sitting on some support, whether it be a bolster or some blankets, or it can be a block as well. And as you inhale, think about lifting, lengthening your spine. Think about the crown of the head ascending. And then as you exhale, think about releasing the shoulders away from the ears, relaxing what I like to call the outer body. So the skin of the body, the outer part of the body, and also allowing the buttocks to descend onto your support. So on the inhale, there's a sense of the inner body lifting, the inside lifting, and then on an exhalation, there's a sense of the outer body relaxing. And then from here, bringing the palms together in front of the chest, thumbs resting on the sternum. Palms pressing together firm, elbows lifting up slightly. Taking a moment to honor the self, the universe, and all other forms. On an exhalation, bow the head. And then release the hands. And on an inhalation, lift the head. Okay, you're going to take your bolster off of your mat so you have a clean, clear, sticky mat. And then you're going to come onto your hands and knees. Bring your hands shoulder width, your knees hip width, feet pointing straight back from the knees. Tuck your toes under and lift your buttocks up for Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. So when you first get into the pose, it's your first dog pose of the day. You may feel like moving a little bit, kind of opening up the shoulders, opening up the backs of the legs. Sometimes people like to bend one leg and straighten another and then switch. So just kind of warming up the muscles here in downward facing dog. Gonna move the head around a little bit. And then start to become still. So less movement. Start to allow the body to become still in the pose. Press the hands strongly into the floor and the feet. Continue to lift the sit bones up. And now moving to the breath. So a nice deep inhalation. As you inhale, think of widening the rib cage and exposing the back of the body. And then as you exhale, think of pressing the hands and feet firmly into the floor and lifting the sit bones up. So the inhalation, widening the ribs, exhalation, grounding, and lifting the sit bones. So you'll feel that you kind of come out of the pose on the inhalation, and then on the exhalation, you get a little bit deeper. So a couple more breaths here. And then bend the legs, come into child's pose. Knees are separated, big toes are together. Sit your buttocks back down onto your heels. Stretch your arms forward. And as you stretch your arms forward, keep the elbows lifting up off the floor, and then rest your forehead on the floor. And this time, as you breathe, your inhalation, you're going to breathe into the back of the body, the back of the rib cage, the back of the lungs. And then as you exhale, you're going to sink down deeper into your pose. So then you're going to allow the chest to drop down more toward the floor. Also on the exhalation, you're allowing your buttocks to drop down toward your heels. So you're softening in the groins to allow the buttocks to descend. Now bring your hands back underneath your shoulders, push yourself up, bring your knees together. So now you're sitting on your heels with your knees together. And then take your arms up, arms shoulder width apart, and palms are facing one another. Now as you inhale, you're breathing into the chest. So you're lifting the chest, and at the same time lifting the arms up. And on the exhalation, you're dropping in the chest and allowing the arms to come slightly forward. So there's this movement of inhaling and lifting, exhaling and dropping a bit. So on the inhalation, you're really stretching the arms up and over the head. On the exhalation, you're letting that go a bit. And sinking the stomach back in toward the low back. And then on your next exhalation, release the arms. And then you're going to take 2 blocks and set them up so that your first block is on the middle height, and then your second block is on the low part of the lowest height, and they're right at the very edge of your sticky mat because you're going to be lying over them. So you sit in front of that first block with your legs bent, and lying back onto the block, you want for your shoulder blades to be resting on that block, and then your head to be resting on the second block. Now, depending upon your openness of your chest and shoulders and neck, is dependent upon how the blocks need to be, what level they need to be at. So if you need to adjust, feel free, that's fine. You can always lift the head block up, or you can also drop the chest block or the shoulder blade block down. So keeping the legs bent, bringing the arms up so they're shoulder width. Palms again are facing one another, just like in the last pose. And then you're going to reach the arms up over the head toward the floor. You're continuing to turn the arms so the palms face one another. And then lift your buttocks up and give a slight tuck, just a little one, to lengthen the low back. And then straighten both legs. You're pressing the legs down into the floor. The heels are stretching away from one another, so you want to feel that the legs are working. Now, as you breathe here, you're going to lift the chest on the inhalation. So you're really allowing the chest to open. You're allowing the arms to drop down toward the floor. And then on the exhalation, you're allowing the chest to drop down so that the stomach drops, the chest, and what will happen is that the arms will actually lift up on the exhalation. So inhale, opening the chest. Exhale, dropping the chest. And then placing the hands around the elbows. Same thing with the breath. And then switching the cross of the elbows. And then bringing the arms down by the side. You're going to press into the floor to sit all the way up. And then cross your legs. Take your block. Bring it in close to you, near the right side of your body. Well, actually near your right buttock. So it's behind you, near your right buttock. And then you're going to take your right hand behind you onto that block. Take your left arm across onto your right knee. Inhale, lift. Exhale, twist. Here with the breath, you're going to think of breathing on the inhalation. You're breathing into the rib cage and you're widening the rib cage. So right to left, left to right. So the right side of the ribs are moving to the right. The left side of the ribs are moving to the left. You're trying to create an even openness on both sides. So the breath is coming evenly into the right and into the left. And then on the exhalation, you're twisting. Release and switch. So bring the block over to the left side, left buttock behind you. Take your left hand behind, your right arm across. Hold on to your knee with your right hand. Inhale, lift. So the first inhalation is about lifting the spine. Then as you exhale, just a small twist to the left. And then you start the breathing. This now inhaling, expanding the ribs. Exhale, turn. Inhale, expand. Exhale, turn. Having the block back here helps you to bend, keep both elbows bent, and what that does is help you keep a broadness across the chest, the collarbones. It spreads the collarbones, keeps that area of the body nice and broad and wide, and the back body, upper back body. So while you may not need the block, it's nice to have it. And release, and let's do the other side again. So right hand behind, left arm across, inhaling, lift, exhale, twist, and then continue with the breath. Don't worry about twisting the neck, the head. The chin should stay pretty much in line with the chest. And release, and to the other side. And then release. Now you're going to take 2 blankets and you're going to roll them up, and then you're going to cross them. So you take the first blanket, it's horizontal on your sticky mat toward the top edge of your sticky mat. The second blanket is vertical right on top of that horizontal blanket, and they're crossed right in the center. And then you sit in front of that first blanket, or that vertical blanket, and with your sacrum all the way up against it. You're not sitting on top of the blanket, but your sacrum is all the way up against it. Then you're going to lie over that vertical blanket so that your spine is completely supported. And then resting the head as well. Sometimes the head rests on the floor and sometimes it's on the blanket. Just as long as the neck is comfortable, it's fine. Bring the arms up again, palms facing each other, and then reach the arms up over your head. Just like we did in the last pose. And then straightening the legs, again, one at a time. Just working the legs, pressing the legs down. I love this one. This just feels so good. So here on your inhalation, you're doing the same thing as you're doing in where we lay over the block. So inhaling, and you're lifting and opening up the chest, and then as you exhale, you're allowing that to drop into, so you're allowing to sink into the blanket. again, hands around the elbows. Just getting a little deeper shoulder stretch here. And then switch the cross of your arms. Continuing to breathe. And then bringing the arms back down by your side. Press into the floor to sit all the way up. And then just sit with your legs crossed for a moment. Just feeling the upper back, the chest. Just observing the mind. And feeling how you feel right now.